Okay, so let me try and explain my live setup to you. So this is the track Sparkling Joy, which I put a jam up of recently. So how does it all work? So this is my Toraiz, and this is where I've got all my samples. This is my mixer, this is my drum machine. We'll talk about the MC707 in a minute. And this is the Kaoss pad, which I'm not sure if you can see. So this track, what sounds have we got? We've got this sound. So firstly, I need to say what I have is this has got 8 outs and these go into here separately. So I generally have drums on channel 1, bass on channel 2, and other 3, 4, 5 and 6. I have different sounds. So I have this sound and this is on channel 3. I generally use this preset on the Kaoss pad. And I can also add effects, like I often use the delay on the MX1. So for example, if I put that right up, it gets loads of feedback. And it kind of doesn't end. That can be really nice to play with. So I've got that sound. Then I've got the bass, which goes into this channel. So with this stab, I just have it playing simply at the beginning of a 4-bar loop, just once. If I wanted to, I could pitch it. I should play with that more probably, and you can slice on this as well, but I'm just doing that. Okay, the bass is just basically it's a bass sound, and there's no time stretching on it, so I've just got a simple 2 notes. It's on its own. Okay, then on the drums channel, so I've got this nice bongo pattern, and I've also got these bells, which is from an old tune of mine. I can't remember where that came from now, but I put that's from an old tune of mine. They're the main sounds, actually. I know, and we've also got this kind of bass sound. Which actually came from this. The SH01a, and that's been sampled and put into here. So if I... Yeah, so that was just probably just an ARP. But yeah, so far we got that all together. Then we've got the drums all coming out of the sampler. All coming out of the Toraiz. So I've got my kick, snare, toms, nothing on there, extra clap, closed hat, open hat, shaker, and some more toms. If I just play this for a second. On this, some of the sounds can have 2 sounds, and I've programmed a little pattern into that. I've also programmed a fill, which you can do on there. So that's the majority of that. Basically, I can play with all of these things, bring things in and out. This filter, this lovely analog filter on the Toraiz, this can go to the whole thing or just one track. So I always do it just to one track, and I try and choose the one that makes the most sense. So here I'm doing the bass thing. That's the main bulk of the track. So I also have Quite often with this SH01a, I just play in, just hold a simple chord. But here I've actually got a sequence from the MC707 playing a sequence on there, so I'll show you that now. I've also got my trusty Monotron delay, which I love. And that has got a nice delay on it, which is really nice and crusty. I love doing stuff like this. Feedback right up and all the time. But if I forget about it, it starts to make noise, and sometimes I don't know where it's coming from. So I do tend to just use the delay on here more because I kind of control it better. But I love a bit of that dub delay kind of sound. So, yeah, and so on the Kaoss pad, I've also got this sound, which is good for transitions, and I've got a few more effects on there. So I really like having one synth with quite controllable, you know, but not too deep. So this is a lovely kind of, you know, it's got enough controllability to change the sound quite a lot, but not too much that you get lost in it. So this is great for that. And yeah, as I said, I can make sequences on the fly, which I sometimes do, or just do arpeggios, or I can send it MIDI from the MC707. So let's have a look at the MC707 now. Okay, so this is the MC707. When this came out, I was quite deep into this live set. It just seemed to tick so many boxes. It does so many things. One of the difficult things about this live set is syncing all the boxes. So what I've generally got is this is 16. There's 16 scenes in the Toraiz. There's banks of 16 patterns in the Toraiz, and this has got 16 scenes with 8 tracks in each. So I tend to try and have a track will be number 2. So say this is number 2 in the set, so it'll be number 2 on the Toraiz, number 2 on the bank in the Toraiz, and number 2 on here. So I can trigger that like that. So as you can hear, hopefully, I've got this sequence. This is MIDI data from the MC707, and so I can control that quite nicely. And generally I like to put some effects on it. So that's from the Kaoss pad, or I can do it from here. Or maybe a bit of scatter's nice. And then I can add a bit of effects on the Kaoss pad to that, for example. I've also got these beat effects, which I tend to use as like a sidechain effect. But there's also like a slicer. So this MX1 is really great for doing live. It gives you so much flexibility and chance to mess with things live. Okay, one of the great strengths, I think, of the MC707 is the fact that each of these clips can be a different sound, and the synth engine is really powerful. So I've got some extra sounds here. Number 1, I've got a crash cymbal. And one of the things I don't like about the Toraiz is that you can only do 4-bar patterns, but with the MC707 you can do 8 bars, and you can set it to 1/8, so you get 16 bars, because I quite want a crash cymbal at the beginning of every 16 bars. So I've got that there. Then I've got nothing on there. It's like an organ sound. Got this choir type pad. And this kind of voice thing. It's really nice. I've got like the filter cutoff set on these. I can also have 2 more things which are freely assignable. So hopefully that's kind of, you can see what I'm doing then when I'm playing everything. I've got control over everything on the mixer. And for example, with these things, there's loads of good stuff about the MC707, for example, the scatter. Which is very programmable. I haven't got into that yet, but I do want to get into programming more of my own patches on that. But also, because the great thing about this MX1, if you're using Roland Era gear, this goes in, so this is going into USB 2, my TR8S is USB 1, and my SH01a is going to USB 3. One USB cable does audio and MIDI, so it's very convenient. But yeah, so I can obviously affect all the drums, for example, with the effects on this. It's just a great setup. It's taken me a long time to get to this, but I'm really happy with it. So I hope that helps you, hope you find that useful, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.